Okay, we'll call the meeting of the Chaska Economic Development Authority meeting. We'll call this. See you guys. Thanks. Congrats. Good luck. We'll call the meeting to order at 7:51. At least we call roll, please.
Commissioner Hatfield, Commissioner Hubbard, Commissioner Wong,
Here.
Commissioner Grau,
Here.
President Winchell.
Here. And if you missed the roll call earlier, the two council members are out on other commitments tonight and we're unable to attend, as is the Economic Development Director, Podorowski. All right, we moved to item 3, adopting the agenda. Are there corrections or additions to the agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wong, second by Commissioner Grau. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Post same sign. All right, we would move to, oh no, I gotta approve previous meeting minutes from 5/1 of 2023. Discussion, if not, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Grau, second by Commissioner Wong, to approve previous meeting minutes, 5/1/2023. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Post same sign. Now we move in discussion item. EDA resolution 2023-43, a letter of undertaking. That was a tabled item from the last meeting. I don't know, you want to introduce that? It's pretty self-explanatory, or?
Right, I'll just quickly, just for the record, as you know, at the last meeting, you did table this item. Since that time, it has been resolved, and we just wanted to note for the record that there will be no further discussion or action on this item.
So we don't have to take a vote on this then, right? Jake?
No, this is an informational point just for the benefit of the commission.
That's the way I looked at it, but I just wasn't sure. Okay.
I think maybe you had misleading in the follow-up, right? And that it's a question, but this is just a point of information.
I think we were all pretty clear with it, just if there was any misunderstanding somewhere else. So, all right, next we'll take 5B, which is downtown building improvement program guidelines.
President and Commissioners, the item before you, we've kind of previewed over the past few months. So we came to you back in, I believe it was end of February, beginning of March, talking a little bit about the rear entrance guidelines that we worked through with the businesses and the Heritage Preservation Commission, which was really something that came out of the roadway improvements that are currently happening on 41. So we've had parking on 41, moving that parking now kind of behind the businesses. And what does that do for customers and visitors to downtown? How do we get them into buildings, that sort of thing? So this manual was created. It was officially adopted by the Heritage Preservation Commission. You saw that. So really kind of the next step then was to look at the funding programs that we have available for downtown businesses to help them be able to implement some of these items. So for a number of years, going back 20 plus years, I believe, we've had the storefront improvement program and a kind of a corresponding signage and awning grant program. And so it started to take a look at that as the mechanism to be able to provide funding for businesses to incorporate these comments. So really, we took a comprehensive look at it because it's been a number of years and kind of did an overhaul to get it kind of up to where we need it to be. So I'm not going to go through it all. I just wanted to give a few kind of program updates, kind of those key pieces from what you'll see is different. So we've made a new name for the program, calling it the Downtown Building Improvement Program. Storefront is very misleading, I think, and so really trying to encompass that it can reflect work on the exterior of the building, both front and rear. And it also includes that signage and awning. We've also reviewed and the program objectives and added a few new program objectives to really kind of get at that rear entrance and getting visitors and customers throughout downtown. We talked about the inclusion of projects. So if you look at the actual program guidelines itself, we talk about, different eligible and ineligible improvements. And so again, starting to incorporate, looking at improving and rehabilitating that exterior, looking at the facades, looking at the rear entrances. I do want to note really what we're looking at is permanent improvements to those buildings. It's not temporary improvements. I realize kind of that signage.
Sandwich boards.
Not sandwich boards. We are, and we can talk about that separately. We are doing a small temporary signage program to help businesses in downtown this summer, but just really being able to, focus on those permanent improvements that kind of go with the building there. And then we have called out ineligible improvements as well in that. And then really kind of one of the bulk items here is the funding amounts and terms. If you look at the funding amounts, they haven't been changed probably for 20 years. So we thought we would look at updating it. So the signage and onage portion of the program will remain as a $2,500 matching grant. If you go back and historically look at that particular part of the program, it's been used probably actually more in the past 5 years than it has in previous years that it's been available, but the amounts are smaller, typically under $1,000. So that's because it is a matching, we kept that the same. As part of the program, to encourage businesses to even explore the feasibility of some of their projects, we do allow for a design and architectural assistance grant. So that was originally set at $500. That probably buys you about an hour of time these days. So we did increase that to $1,000. Again, just to help get some ideas going and look at that feasibility. So we want to encourage people to do that. And then we've talked about the loan. So the exterior portion of and kind of that permanent improvement part of the project is a loan. We have increased that from $50,000 to $60,000. And we've looked at making some changes to the term of the loan. And so in the past, it's been all structured as a low interest loan. And it's been dependent upon the size of the building and the amount, that sort of thing. We're looking at making it even because, it doesn't, in some cases, the size of the building, if you're working on masonry, looking at creating a new back entrance, that size of the building isn't going to matter. So we've tried to, make it a little bit more of an even playing field in that sense. Because if you're going to, look at doing a project, we want to encourage that. We have also talked about and would recommend that the EDA approve the program guidelines with half of that loan would remain a low interest loan as we've had in the past. Half of that loan would be a forgivable loan. And again, to encourage people to use the program, it's probably been 10 years since we've had somebody use the program. And I realize loan terms have been favorable over that period of time, but to, again, encourage people. So we're looking at up to 50% of the loan can be forgiven over 10 years. So essentially 20% of the loan would be forgiven and then completely forgiven once they, if they have remained in that building or that business has remained there. So that's a very quick, a very high level, just starting to make those, improvements and updates. We do have folks that are interested in this program right now, hence the reason why we wanted to bring it back to you. In fact, I believe the Heritage Preservation Commission is going to look at it tomorrow evening, even some of that work that's going to be done. So as staff, we are recommending that you approve the new program guidelines and we would roll it out. We have a Business Alliance meeting on Friday, so we would roll it out already on Friday.
I don't think this is a tremendous increase in funding, but we have funding for this already in place though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
I was just wondering if we got, 5, 6, 7 loans all of a sudden.
I think We'll look and kind of monitor what happens. And if it looks like we are going to exceed capacity, I mean, I think that would be an item that we would talk about in the budget, at budget time, what we'd want to do. But right now we have structured the program as first come, first serve.
Also, there is a limit of funds, kind of.
We have about $100,000 in funds available right now. And then another probably $10,000 or $11,000 available for just the signage and awning portion of the program. So about $110,000 total.
Well, that would be a great problem if we had to come up with some additional funding because it means people took advantage. I think I drove through the alley and I think Carver Junk has already fixed the back of the building up for quite nicely. And,
Sure.
you know, and a lot of these places all had back entrances, but they kind of quit using them. So it'll be good to see those come back as well, you know, especially during this period of construction. So, all right. Did anyone have any questions for Elise? I think it's pretty straightforward for us. It's been around a long time. It's just modified and a name change so that it really covers not only storefronts, but store rears, store entrances, no matter where they are. So.
Not a question, just a general comment. You know, I know that, you know, seeing the Downtown Business Alliance meetings, there's been a, you know, keen interest in this and, you know, talking with, you know, some of the store owners, it's really something that would help them, especially now. So I think I appreciate that sense of urgency to make sure that we, you know, enable this or activate it so that we can get it into the hands of the business owners, because we do want to make sure that, you know, we're sending a clear message that, you know, their livelihood and their success is really important to us, and getting them to, you know, getting them the support they need to be able to get through the construction. So that way, when they come out the other side, they'll be better prepared to really, you know, boost their business and really have a, you know, a great, you know, be ready to bring more business to town. So I think I'm really excited about this and really, you know, thankful that we're able to provide this for our local businesses.
All right. With that, I guess I'd look for a motion to approve
So move.
the downtown building improvement program guidelines.
So
So a motion by Commissioner Wong, second by Commissioner Gra to again approve the downtown building improvement program guidelines. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Post same sign. Motion carries. All right, anybody else have any other business? I got something I'm gonna just try to hit on this real quick. We get this from the Met Council yearly, and we just had our 2020 census. So it's just kind of interesting seeing where we are. We have our 2022 estimate. So our population has gone up in 2 years, if I'm looking at it right, about 200 people in a 2-year period, which we talk about roughly 100 homes. So, you know, if it's 2 per home, I think next year is going to be a different jump. But looking here, in 2022, we have 7,230 single family homes. 95.55% are occupied. Townhomes, we have 708, and 97.7% are filled. Duplex, triplex, and quadplexes, we have 44, they're 86.54 occupied. Multifamily, 5 units or more, we have 2,423, that's 96.89 occupied. And then manufactured homes, we have 682, and we have 98.86. So our total occupancy rate over all of these units are 96.15% occupied. So we went from a population of 27,972 to 28,970, or 28,170 on April of 2022. So we've probably already gone up 100 plus into 2023. But I thought that this was some interesting statistics to look at about our occupancy rate is really overall pretty high. I'm just looking overall, our housing units totally went up 300 homes is what total housing units overall. And our occupancy actually rate did drop a little bit, but that's probably to do with the higher interest rates. Houses aren't moving as fast, so. Just wanted to touch on those couple things. This was in our, if anyone wants to see those stats, they are in the council packet online. So you'd be able to see that way more in depth than what I gave you there, but I just thought it was important. I thought it was kind of neat to see that, so. That last call, if not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Long, a second by Commissioner Rod to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Post same sign. June 26th. Have a good night.